Hello, my name is Joshua Abramson, and I'm the president and founder of A.Allbright Painting. Many people have asked us, why are we doing this Paint It Pink campaign? Well, not only has breast cancer hit home for me and my family, it's also hit home for our community. And rather than me tell you this story, why don't I let some of these people tell you their story?
Breast cancer first hit home for me when I was 3 years old, and my mom passed away at the age of 39, leaving me and my 10 older siblings and my dad. It's breast cancer has defined me my entire life. It's changed the dynamic of my family. It was just part of who I am.
I was 31 years old and had a questionable mammogram. They did a biopsy. Everyone was saying they thought it would be fine because I didn't have a family history and I was in good physical health. And I got a call from the surgeon's office asking me to come in right away. And I was at work, and to get my husband and come in right away. And I asked why, because I was supposed to see him in like 3 or 4 days. And they said something about doctor's leaving, he's got a conference or something. And we walked into the waiting room, and the waiting room was filled with very sick people. It was a general surgeon. You could see people in leg bandages and arm bandages, and I clearly felt much better than they did. And all of a sudden, none of the medical staff are looking me in the eye. And one of the nurses opened the door, and she looks around at all these very sick people and sees me and says, "It'll be just a couple of minutes, Mrs. Honeywell." And I just thought, oh no, this isn't good. There's no reason to just pick me out when there are so many people. And then when they took us in the back and said I had cancer, it was almost as though it wasn't me. It must have been someone else. You know, kind of walked around in a daze, and they sent me to the UCLA Cancer Center, and I met an oncologist on my 31st birthday.
Breast cancer first hit home with me when I was sitting in Dr. Sinofsky's office with my husband, and he said to me, "Wendy, you have breast cancer." And I had walked in there knowing, and he just validated. So it was December 22nd, 2008.
I had a mammogram, and they found a spot, so they told me to have a biopsy, and they said it was cancer. So I went for a second opinion because I wasn't, something like that is pretty big, and they said it was. So I, through my medical association, they sent me to a doctor, and he said that I had a choice. I could either have what they call a lumpectomy or whatever they do, or he said some ladies prefer having their breasts removed. So if I went for the lumpectomy, I'd have to go through chemo and radiation, and at my age, I figure if I was young, I would have gone for that. But at my age, I figured I might as well get rid of it, and I don't have to go through all the radiation, chemo, so I had them remove it.
4 years ago, breast cancer hit home for me again when it was discovered that I carry the gene that my mom also carried, and giving me an 87% chance of having breast cancer in my lifetime. I had just given birth to my second son, and I didn't know what to do and what to think. Not long after that, they found a lump and weren't able to do a needle biopsy, and so I needed to go in to have that checked out. Instead of having a biopsy, I opted to have both breasts removed and immediate reconstruction, because to me, when you're in your 30s, I was 34 years old, you get breast cancer and you die. and I had 2 baby boys who needed me, and I just refused to continue the legacy that my mom had left. And so I had surgery, and it's been the biggest gift in my life. My husband, who is my rock, and my boys, and since then we've adopted a little girl, and every day I'm so grateful that I discovered that gene and that I was able to do something before breast cancer took over my life.
I think the community that's built amongst the breast cancer patient is, there's a perseverance, and there's a resilience, and there's a hope that you have to focus and find a passion in order to survive, as you have to find a passion and focus when you finish a marathon. And I have ran marathons, so when I was diagnosed with my breast cancer, it was as if someone had said to me, it's time to start training for your marathon. And it's at that point in time in my life that I put my running shoes on and knew it was going to be a mental fight till the finish.
I think that there are a lot of things that I've learned through going through this experience. I've learned that you can't do it alone. That if I didn't have my husband and my daughter and supports, and then things like Circle of Hope to help, that I wouldn't be able to go ahead and have a life and go to work and have friends and have more than just being a cancer patient. But I also think people don't realize that you can have cancer, breast cancer, over and over again like a chronic disease. People think of having cancer as you have cancer and you do your radiation and chemo and surgery and finish, and then you're done. Or you're not done, you're too late, and you're going to die. I've had cancer for 16 years. And I don't think people realize that there are people like me who do this all the time and who have to incorporate having cancer just as a part of your life while really focusing on taking care of your health, but also having the rest of your life. I think that would be the one thing that people don't know.
It was something that had to be done, and we did it. I was a little nervous, of course, like anybody else, but it was small. It was the beginning of it, so thank goodness for the mammograms.
As you can tell, these women are survivors. Their stories are powerful, and that's why we have the Paint It Pink campaign. We want to help. We want to make it better. We want to help our community in this area to fight breast cancer. We encourage other companies, no matter what size they are, to get involved. They too have been given the tools to help. Why not get involved? Help us fight breast cancer.